All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
ReZero, Season 2, Episode 12. Okay, we are...
Suffering.
Yes, we are in the pit of suffering. We're almost done with that first half of the season, so we'll get to see very soon what all y'all had to wait on. But yeah, that was just about the worst iteration, one of the worst iterations Subaru's ever gone through.
That was horrifying.
That was a whole new level of bad.
At the end of all that.
Torn to pieces.
And he's torn to shreds, and she's broken.
Yep.
Just absolutely decimated.
Yep.
Just like, hey, lay your head
it's all
on
great.
my lap.
That'll make you feel better, right?
Right.
I don't even notice the fact that there's holes all over you, and
Yeah.
and you're bleeding like crazy. No.
Oh my God.
Just rest now.
Roswell, though, being the one who's like, hey, I don't have what you have, Subaru. So you need to be the one that keeps doing this until you get it right.
Terminator killing people and...
Yeah. As long as you are, willing to protect that one precious thing, then you can eventually become like me. You can kind of catch up to me.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
And then he just walks into the bunnies to get eaten.
Yeah.
Alive.
Just to solidify and make the point. Yeah. Just to iron it into Subaru's mind.
Oh my God.
Our boy needs a REM speech at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really, really brutal.
And yet, given how it went with, like, Beatrice and stuff, he might be the one that needs to actually give her that speech. Like I don't know who could actually give that speech to him. Maybe Amelia when he goes back. Like, maybe.
It's just freaky to think about, like, can he really save everyone?
I don't know.
Or does he have to make choices here because he can't be in multiple places at the same time, you know?
That
he needs to delegate is, I think, what he needs to do.
Sure.
Yeah,
but they don't know. Like, the other people don't know what they're actually going into. It's
right. Yeah, so they're walking in blind. But at the very least, maybe he can have someone send a bit of a message from him to Beatrice or something.
Yeah.
Who knows? This is still the second to the last episode of the first cour, though. So this is not going to be some, finale moment or what have you. But everything has been so crazy. So what would they?
I feel like this could.
How would they
still
set
be,
up the good timeline?
Well, this might be the good
Is
timeline.
there a good timeline?
Well, that's the eternal question. But
Right, yeah.
I feel like this could be the good timeline, and then it just takes 2 episodes to fully resolve everything. Because
sure, that makes
there are
of
a
sense.
lot of moving parts. Like,
There are.
a lot.
And
I get the feeling when Subaru wakes up. I mean, he might not, but this might be one of those moments of, all right, Echidna, get over here. I need to talk to you. Got questions.
Yeah, it gets harder every time. He calls out to her.
And maybe this is enough, but maybe not.
Maybe not.
So,
y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Okay. Whoa, shit.
wait.
Whoa. The whale?
Wait.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right, so past, present. Oh, the mansion?
エミリア様、彼をスバルの顔を拭ってやってください。
どうしてスバルはこんなになっても
Oh my god.
助けにねえどうして
Wow.
Wait, I wonder if Emilia, when she does the trial, if she sees anything like this.
Possibly.
But this is a really cool way to have him go through the trial of this is what you do to everyone when you die. Oh! Whoa, the cliff where he jumped.
どうして
Yeah.
その人じゃないことぐらい
Oh!
救えない話だわ
ありうべからざる今を見ろ。
Oh!
Straight into the next one.
Oh, yeah, with
yeah.
Puck, yeah.
Oh, wait, what?
エミリア様もスバルも
Oh my god.
どこにもいないのです。
Reinhard?
Yeah, and I guess it was Reinhard.
で僕は世界を凍土に染める
Oh my god.
この世界を滅ぼさんとする理
Whoa.
由ですか。
英雄にしかなれない。
He's gonna kill Puck, yeah.
Try anyways.
He's gonna let him.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh my god.
これでも
Wow, we're all the way back here.
Uh-huh.
レムは状況の悪化を防いだだけです。スバル君はすでに救える見込みのない状況でした。一刻も早くとどめが欲しかったはず。
This is so cool, though.
Uh-huh. What happens when he gets back
Montaging
to
him
the
through
end of
every
them?
death.
Like, because eventually he'll get through them.
もう立てなくなってしまいましたか、スバル君。
Wait.
Amelia?
No. That's...
Oh no, that's...
Is that Rem?
Is that Rem?
An unthinkable present.
Yeah.
いつだってそばにいます。
Oh.
スバル君のレムです。
That's too cruel.
スバル君専属の万能お役立ちマイドですよ。大丈夫ですか？
This is too
疲れてしまい
cruel.
ましたか？
His own mind, maybe even
Yeah.
just creating an image of her just to help him with all
Yep.
of the things that he needs.
Right, because he doesn't have the strength himself, so
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's his way of just saying, help.
Yep.
俺が死んだ後も世界が続いてたんだ。俺は何回みんなを見殺しにしたんだ。
スバル君。
俺は何回お前を死なせた。
スバル君。大丈夫ですよ。愛しています。だから全部大丈夫なんですよ。
答えになってねえよ。
Nope.
なってますよ。大変だったんですね、スバル君。一人で傷ついて。でももうこんな悲しい思いばかりしなくて大丈夫ですよ。何もかも全部レムに預けて、今はゆっくり休んで眠ってしまっていいんです。
This is the test. He has to turn it away.
諦めるのは簡単です。
お前誰だ。
Yeah.
お前は誰だってそう聞いてんだよ。
スバル君、何を。
俺がどうしようもないどん詰まりにいて膝を抱えてうじうじと悩み
Yeah.
続けてる時、お前ならきっと優しく寄り添ってくれると思ったよ。さあ立ってください。
Yeah. Yeah.
そう言うんだ。
Yeah.
もう休んでくださいなんて言わない。
Yeah.
諦めて全部
Let's go. Let's go, Subaru.
俺
All right.
俺も好きで俺に優しくて俺を愛してくれて世界で誰より俺に厳しくて
Yeah.
いけよまがいもの俺のレムの顔で声で
Oh,
俺を
yeah.
まやかすんじゃね
Oh.
カミラだよ。
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
はじめまして。
このわけのわからないエキノナの夢か。
私が別の誰かに見えたなら。
That's because you desired.
Yeah.
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 あなたがそう見たがってたから。私は嫌だったのにエキドナちゃんが甘やかせばいいって。
やっぱりエキドナの仕業なのか。
Well, yeah, of course.
命に関わるよ。放置すれば試練で君の心は擦り切れてしまっていたからね。
You have limits.
救うためだったっていうのか。
結果的に君の心を傷つけたことは言い訳できない。罵倒も甘んじて受けよう。第一の試練同様に第二の試練もまた君の記
Yep.
憶から
Recreated from memories. Yep. That makes sense. Yep.
どこまでもよくできた非現実だよ。
Unreality.
君の死に戻りは嫉妬の魔女の権能だ。
Right.
第二の試練で君が見たようなことが現実にあったのかどうかも彼女のみぞ知るといったところ。
Okay. Please do.
契約を僕と交わしてはくれないだろうか。
Here we
Okay.
go. Here we go.
You need me, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yep. Of course, this is all what it would lead up to.
今後君がどうしようもない障害にぶつかった時、 君が自分の罪に潰されそうな時、僕がそれを支えよう。
Wait, share in the return by death ability?
Yeah, she'll gain all the knowledge by being
Holy
immune to the
shit.
memory relapse.
Oh my god.
Holy shit!
Oh
of
my
course
god.
She's
Yeah, she's trying to weasel her way into Satella's power.
in a
She's
lot of
bestowed
ways,
on
yeah.
him, right? Like,
Yeah. So she'll remember all of the things that happened. Oh my god. Oh,
yeah.
she cannot hide her hunger here. Whoa! Whoa!
Someone's coming in to stop this, aren't they? Don't fucking do it.
Wrath?
待っておかけるわ。たとえ契約した場合の不都合なことは何も聞いてないでしょ。君が感じたものを、君が思ったことを、
Oh
君の
god.
心に残るものを、君という存在から派生していく未知という名の果実を
Just that.
僕に味わわせてほしい。隠してることいっぱいだよ。彼女らの言葉に耳を貸すのはやめてくれ。夏木すば。私はあくまでこの場の公平性を保つためのお目付け役さね。最後にはって枕言葉のつく約束だってね。
お前の協力で俺が最善の未来にたどり着くのは最善の道を通ってか。なんで無言だ。
Wow.
答えてくれ、エキドナ。
Wow. Oh, that's dirty.
That's
That's
Wow.
twisted.
君こそもっとよく知るべきだ。考えても見てくれ。君が持つ死に戻り、それは凄まじい権能だ。
Learn everything if she had that.
強要したりしない。君は君の望む結果のためにその力を使う。僕もまた君の望みを叶えるために存分に
Oh, this is perfect.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
共に同じ問題に悩み、あがき、答えを出す。僕たちはそのための最高の関係になれる。
Oh my god.
進むための力を僕は言葉で与えよう。慰めも葉っぱも愛でも。
Now this is a witch here.
Yep.
君には僕が必要。
Yeah, I knew she would say that.
Yeah.
At some point, she's like, "You need me." Oh!
僕は僕の強欲を抑制できない。どんなことがあっても必ず僕は君を君の望む未来へ連れて行く。絶対にだ。僕は全てを本当に全てを赤裸々に伝えた。情熱的に。
Whoa! The mask falling.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my
Holy
god.
shit.
考えないわけ
It's
じゃ
the
なかった
one
さ。
thing he can trust
お
here.
前が 100% 善意じゃないってが。
Yeah, you're smart. You're a smart guy.
いくらなんでも
Yeah.
お前の態度は全部幼稚で薄っぺらい。
Whoa.
何もかも
Really?
Oh yeah.
笑う時も
Okay.
笑う時すら
All right.
お前の態度は
Oh.
エキドナ。お前は他人の感情が理解できないやつなんだ。
Right, because she's completely obsessed with herself.
Now he's gonna forget.
まずは座らないかい。契約についてもう少しすり合わせたい。
ベアトリスを知ってるよな。
知っているよ。あの子
Yes.
Oh, cool, cool,
In
cool.
her birth?
Okay.
確かに
Remove that
禁止行為
contract.
の迎えを待つように命じたのは僕だね。
そ
Wow.
の人ってのは誰だ。
さあ、一体誰なんだろうね。
Whoa.
Wow.
お前は
Whoa.
待ち人が誰なのか
Yeah,
知らないっていうのが。
it's
僕は知らない。僕はね、ベアトリスにその人を待つように約束させて、あの子が誰をその人に選ぶのか、それを知りたいんだよ。
Oh, that's so cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And so cruel.
So cruel, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's like the game. You know,
Uh-huh.
once you think of it, you've lost.
Yep. That is so messed up.
That is- Holy shit.
Feel? What?
Why would I feel?
素晴らしいとそう思っている。
Of course.
Okay, they just made it easy.
Yeah.
You are a witch. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Through and through.
Yep. Ah, Subaru, I'm so proud of you. Oh. Oh.
とはいかない。
All right. Okay. Just a bit.
Yep.
Just a tad.
来たのね。
Tella!
We gotta get all 7 here. Why not?
Okay. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Let's
This was
go.
Wow. Oh no, no. Oh no, no, no. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god.
This was this was really something.
This was something else. So we get multiple. Oh my god. We get multiple crazy things this episode. Subaru got montaged through an alternate look of the present trials and tribulations of his death.
Yep, which is a great way to handle the three trials and everything.
Yeah, second one being what happened after you
present
died for the people around you.
Right, but how do you make the present interesting, right?
Yep.
And I love that the whole idea of, well, okay, maybe this will be enough to get him to talk to Echidna again, and then, he goes and does everything for the final good timeline or whatever, right?
Right.
And he does talk to Echidna.
He's like, yeah, I think I need to, yeah.
I didn't realize though that would be like the whole episode. Like, I know he wasn't talking to Echidna per se for all of it. There was Witch of Lust and and the trial and things like that, right? But oh my god,
I loved everything about this episode.
This was incredible.
Yeah. So one of the things that Jacob and I think that we love so much about ReZero compared to most isekai in general is how much is centered around the plight of the main character.
Yes.
But here, what we get is the ultimate wish fulfillment of the main character being offered to him by the most, Echidna, basically, that I can make it all easy.
Right. I can give you cheat codes.
I can give you cheat codes. I can give you hacks.
Like, and
wasn't that what you wanted when you maybe imagined reincarnating into a fantasy world? I can give you cheat codes.
I can make this a power fantasy
so
isekai.
overpowered. All you need is just to agree to let me experience everything you experience as if I am your body and soul.
Like I
am everything that you are.
And to be clear,
it's just
it didn't seem like she was necessarily offering him like power and stuff to make it easy.
No.
Just that you'll have me and my infinite wisdom and experience and things like that.
Yeah,
and
but
then,
that is what it is. Right.
Basically. And then it'll be easy. And then the fact that it's like, wait. Will you take me? You'll take me to the end I desire, the best ending? Yes. Will you take me along the best path?
Well.
And she just doesn't say anything.
Like, Subaru, see, the thing is that I will get you there eventually.
Right.
But the thing is that there's so much to learn out there.
And I will make sure that whenever you're broken, whenever you feel like giving up, that I will be there to comfort you.
Yeah.
I will help you. Yeah. You can depend on me.
You know what, Subaru? One of the things that you don't understand is just how useful Return by Death is. Yeah. You already have the best cheat code imaginable. The ability to tap into infinite respawns.
Yep.
The number is infinite.
You are the main character and you can save. That's crazy.
Which means that to her, she is drooling.
Oh yeah.
She cannot help but you almost said yes to the contract, and she leapt across the table
Yeah. And that's,
I love that they did that to show that she is not perfectly composed with this.
Well, and this is one of the things that I love about it, right? Because you could very easily say no, but if she's really this calculating,
yes, of
she'd
course.
be able to hold it in just a little bit longer. She's been in here for 400 years or whatever, right? That would be no problem.
No problem.
That's just how good it would be.
Yeah.
It's the and this is why maybe it's just like a okay, 2 isn't exactly a pattern, 3's a pattern,
Totally.
but with like FMAB, right? Greed was my favorite of all the sins, right?
Yeah, he had the greedling thing.
Right, he had the greedling thing, right?
Yep.
And that was a great way to explore the character
Natures of
a lot more
the
than a
homunculus
lot of the
and-
other homunculus
Yep,
did, right?
yep, exactly.
In this situation though, but in general, and this situation is something that goes in line with this kind of way of thinking.
Oh,
but I
okay.
really feel like greed is one of the most interesting of all the 7 deadly sins to explore in a story in general, because like I talked before how I feel like greed and envy can get kind of conflated for me.
They can,
because they are very similar, but then also with gluttony and lust, it feels like it's just specific aspects of greed, right?
Yeah,
where it's the you want everything with like of this specific kind of thing,
but
right?
there's a desired state at the end with regards to lust and gluttony. Gluttony, you want to gorge upon the things that not only would be gorged, but then to continue in that state perpetually. Greed, I feel
Okay.
like with greed, it's
more
something
possessive, like
Yeah, it's something that is it is more about the idea of I would say having, but you don't necessarily need to be in a state with regards to it.
I totally see that too.
And lust is about the build up, I would say, and the seduction itself, the allure. It's in the pull. It's not in the having it here.
Possibly, but I feel like I feel like all of those can be different approaches to the same thing.
I got you.
Because like with Echidna here,
Yeah.
she is very much like, even if it's knowledge rather than like food or something, right? Like she is very much wanting to consume all of it. She wants to consume Subaru entirely. She wants to consume the knowledge of the world. And her big promise that she makes to Subaru is, hey, this will be quid pro quo. You can consume me as well in whatever way you desire, right?
Yeah.
And from one standpoint, you could say, hey, if it's quid pro quo, that might be a pretty good deal. Except for the fact that
How does one feed upon a black hole? That's obviously what she is.
How does one feed upon a black hole? And she has been in this game longer than you. What you would be basically signing up to is that you would be going into a cage with a feral animal and saying, let's both eat each other, right? I get the feeling she's better at eating things than you are.
Now,
right?
the freaky thing is that she respects him enough to try and not bludgeon him into this. Because
Sure.
one of the things
Yeah.
that is actually
Yeah.
quite terrifying about his power is that it's stronger than her.
Yep. Uh-huh.
It actually taps into the infinite.
Yep.
Meaning that theoretically, if
Right.
she was not in this space, there is a possibility that this power might be even able to beat her.
Right. It's probably any of a mix of either the fact that she's in this space, which might make her safe from it, especially
Right.
if Satella might also be here, right?
Yeah.
So
Because we don't know how she's keeping her memories with regards
Right.
to all of this.
Yeah, but right, we don't know how she's keeping her memories, and then as far as knowing about the return by death, it could totally be because of Subaru's memories or things like that.
she got all his memories.
Right.
So she might be even simulating that she has all the memories with regards to this. And every time he enters in here,
sure, she just gets an update.
she gets an update on all the memories.
And she's that
and
quick
like,
on her feet
Okay,
that she's like, all
quickly
right, yeah.
improv. I have to be smooth here.
Yep.
Don't talk too much. Like keep him kind
Right.
of coaxed here.
Smile and do all those things that he'll enjoy that will basically stall for time as I formulate a plan. Like the way the way they handle everything in this area in this season, I love so much,
Same.
right? Because on the one hand,
so good.
we started out when we met her, and it's the oh shit, a witch, right? But wait, it's Echidna. Hold on, what's the situation here? And then she starts to basically give a bunch of information that says what you know about witches isn't exactly true.
Which might
still be accurate now,
Yeah.
because she very much seems to be the kind of person that just doesn't lie, right? Like now, maybe when it comes to contracts, she
just
can't
omits
lie,
things.
otherwise it voids the contract or something, right? So she instead omits things, right?
Yeah.
And she can totally say things in ways that will be
Manipulate
manipulative,
him.
right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
You
totally.
do not need to lie to manipulate.
Yep. But it's something where basically us, the audience, have been taken on this loop in hand with Subaru.
Pun intended, too.
Right. Of how do we feel about the witches? Can they be allies? Can they be trusted? How much
Back
do we
and
need
forth,
to
back
doubt
and
them,
forth,
right?
yep.
Because they are witches, so don't, take things with a grain of salt.
Right,
But at
right.
the same time, like I feel like one of the best deceptions that someone in Echidna's position can do
Yeah.
is not to make it so that someone trusts you,
Right.
but to make it so that they doubt you on a very specific thing,
Yeah.
rather than doubting you entirely.
Right.
So that then they think they've got one over on you, and then they really don't. Right.
Here's one that I would think would make a lot of sense. Is that Echidna, being a witch and stuff, and stuck here, like very much stuck here, is that these visits, even in and of themselves, are kind of safe because she's stuck here. Like, that would
Sure.
be, I would say, the most base assumption that Subaru is operating on that might just be 100% not true. Is that every time he comes here, he's giving her more of his memories.
Right.
And that info, there could be something in that info, like that he eventually just accidentally gives her, and she's like, oh, thank you.
Right,
That's
like-
it. And then she twists her hand, and the ceiling shatters,
Right.
and she's just like, cracks her back, and she's just like, let's do this.
The
and it's
perfect
just like, oh,
example,
shit.
the perfect example of this is with the handkerchief tied around his wrist.
Yes,
Now,
great
it was
example.
It was something that ended up being useful because he was in a situation where I'm going to be mentally destroyed and not actually killed, so return by death won't trigger.
Right.
But that was an example of her power going out into the physical world, not just knowledge that was gained in this space, but actual magical power, right? And then that was used. It was used to very good effect. Now, it was done in such a way that was not harmful to Subaru. I mean, physically it was harmful. Physically it was harmful, but it was actually very helpful, right? It saved his mind, right? It made him dependent on her, right?
Made him need her.
Yeah,
feel
exactly.
Like he needs her.
Right, because
so that he would come calling again later.
Exactly, because
Oh,
why?
it's so twisted.
Because greed as a concept is unbounded, right? And that's why I like it so much more than things like gluttony and lust, right? Because gluttony and lust, that's too narrow. Even if it was just greed for knowledge, right? It doesn't have to be greed for.
I got you. Keep going.
Yeah, it doesn't have to just be greed for knowledge. It can be greed for the fact that it's almost like an ownership of Subaru, right? That she has left her mark on him now. Yeah. And if not for these other witches coming and intervening, even with her freak out over, yes, make the contract, right?
Yeah.
He probably would have ended up doing it. Right. Because he would have been like, okay, yeah, this seems pretty good. I'm being, doubtful, but at the same time,
and I'm also in a really bad way right now.
Yep.
I think the reason why greed is more relatable, though, is because it's more human. And there's an aspect of limitlessness to a few things with regards to humanity. Our stupidity is limitless. But I would say in a lot of ways, our capacity to think selfishly
our
is
desires.
Limitless. No. Our desires are not limitless.
Okay.
No, that's the thing. It's the idea of thinking selfishly versus, thinking other ways. But when we think of lust or gluttony, those are all tied to actual carnal physical needs.
That can be sated, right.
That can be sated.
Yeah.
But they are not based on our own selfishness necessarily.
Sure.
If someone needs to eat, they are not selfish. They are thinking about their self, their body. If someone needs to relieve their sexual frustration, yes, they are thinking about themselves.
Right.
But they are not selfish. Greed, though, is tapped into the idea of, I think about myself more than others,
and
that is potentially limitless.
And one of the things that's actually kind of a sideways comment, right? But a lot of the times in fantasy stories or sci-fi or things like that, where you have other cultures, other peoples, other races, species, whatever, right? And you introduce them.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate them from humans? One of the common things that's done, especially in like Mass Effect is the best example that comes to mind, but that humans are voracious. Yeah. Right? That they generally are not satisfied, and whatever it is that they are after, they continue to go after.
They're selfish.
They are selfish, right? They are greedy, right? And that so it's I love it when it's explored here because
then she's the ultimate villain.
She's the ultimate villain, right?
Because Satella look like a true eldritch being because she doesn't feel like she's necessarily tapped into anything human.
Exactly.
Whereas Echidna feels like a fully realized, evolved human with all power at her fingertips.
And the reason why
And it's
ReZero as a
terrifying.
show is so wonderful in my mind, and Caleb talked about this earlier of how the reasons why we like Subaru so much compared to a lot of other isekai protagonists, but I would say ReZero struck on gold as far as main character exploration in general.
Yeah.
Is that it's not about him actually going through the puzzles to solve the timeline or whatever. That's fun and that's engaging, but the thing that it's about, because other stories have done that, the thing that it's about is it's about whether he, Subaru, will actually be able to mentally handle it.
We'll be able to keep going.
Right. This is the perfect crucible to see if he will grow, if he will develop, if he will rise to the occasion, right?
Yeah.
Because he's given plenty of opportunities to give up, right?
Yeah. And this is the story of how he becomes the greatest hero, or he becomes
Exactly, right.
a broken, you know, shell of a man.
Right, and he
who
goes-
did everything he could to save others and lost himself along the way.
And he goes through the ultimate struggle in order to get there.
Yep.
So then, since it's about that personal process growth as an individual, as a person,
Yep.
then to take greed, the in some ways the biggest downfall of humanity as a species, right?
Sure.
And embody it in a character,
Yeah.
and then have them to be there and say,
Yeah.
I can help you.
Yeah, because in a lot of ways, I would say the only thing that could come close to that, really, is I would say some aspect of what would be the opposite of love, which would be something along the lines of greed, you know, selfishness. So if compassion being like, you know, unconditional giving forth of yourself in some ways of love.
Thought of like getting something in return.
Sacrificial in a lot of ways. But with greed being so selfish, you would be a consumptive force and you wouldn't care about others. Subaru, in his own just desire to survive, has to think about how he himself can manage to keep going.
Yes.
Otherwise, he will eventually make the contract with Echidna. And that's the part that's terrifying here, is these are just the times that Subaru remembers. There is a very real possibility that she can use her power on him to make him just forget.
Yeah, because there were times like we as, you know, the audience see, you know, from the outside perspective, and so you know, this Subaru doesn't necessarily, or no, she did make him remember the past one. So, you know, but there could be ones that he doesn't remember.
Right.
Like it's possible.
It's all in the things that she's not telling you, the things that she keeps to herself.
Also, the other thing that I forgot to mention as for why the whole greed thing is so important to Subaru as a character specifically, if we remember how Subaru was in the first season, right?
Yeah.
There were a lot of points, like there were points where he was likable. There were other points where he really wasn't likable. The whole thing where he goes to Emilia's, like the whole meeting at the palace or whatever it was, and he crashes. The selection ceremony, right?
They're talking about who all the heirs will be.
Yeah, that was a great example of him just being very selfish, right? Being greedy, maybe, right? That he didn't want anyone else to really be spending time with Emilia. He wanted to be the one helping Emilia. And then when he has that breakdown in front of her of, come on, I've done all this stuff for you, right? Why don't I get rewarded for this? I deserve this. I deserve you, right?
Yeah.
That's, and you see how ugly it gets, right? And then here comes Echidna. And eventually, she does reveal her true face, right?
I loved that.
And the
visuals for that. Just to have it be a thing where we've seen that smile before. We've seen in some ways her eyes kind of like that before.
The really like angled up smile.
Well, just the thin nature of the smile, where her mouth is fully shut, and it's like that. That was just something that we've seen basically kind of that before. No, I guess it's never been that exact shape before. But yeah, that is her true form. And she's just like, I'll show it all to you.
Yeah, and she's reveling in it.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's self-focused, so of course. She's Yeah. Now, maybe we could, because this is something that I found to be a little bit interesting here. When they show off all the witches, right?
Yeah.
They're, you know, all here and stuff without, you know, Satella, of course.
Right.
But as every one of them comes up, there does seem to be this idea that Echidna is the one in power almost. And they all seem to be like, don't listen to her. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
Like, they didn't show up until now. They didn't disrupt what Echidna was doing until this very moment.
Right. But even Satella's showing up now. But when you look at where she's been, like, reveling in this, as you were saying, we see for the first time her face actually contort into a bit of anger when Satella shows up. If you look here, really short bit at the end.
Yep.
She is like gritting teeth.
Grimaces, yeah.
Yeah. And
yay, it's Tella.
wouldn't it be funny to see Satella save Subaru from this situation?
Well, that's what's great about it, is that the other witches have already been kind of doing that, not because they care about Subaru, just because they're like, nah, you don't get this super dope power, right? We're not gonna let you just get that one up over the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
And then of course Satella shows up, and she's probably going to, because up till now, Echidna's main focus was Subaru. That was it, right? Even when the other witches showed up, like she acknowledged them, and she was kind of like, "Come on, like it's the
Stop raining on my parade."
Right. It felt very much like the sibling that has has like the cute guy or girl that they're really into, and they're talking to him,
and they're like at the bar, but and then all the other siblings keep bouncing up to the bar, be like, "So who's this?"
And they're like, "No, get the fuck away!" Like right. But now all of a sudden, oh no, Satella's here. Right. This is. Okay, she can't ignore this anymore.
Right. All pretenses might drop here because, well, in a lot of ways, one of the things that's a bit maybe kind of perfect for this is Subaru was told basically by Echidna here, if you ever feel like you're burdened by the weight of your sins, I can help you here, right?
Yep.
In some ways, the usual thing with sins with regards to this is that we get feedback from our environment that's negative when we do things that are along the lines of the 7 deadly sins, right?
Sure.
That's usually one of the easiest ways to tell when you kind of mess something up. It's pain, basically. Now, that's a part of your environment, even though it's in your body. It's something in this physical world that immediately kind of goes, ow, you touched the stove thing and it hurt you. And
sure,
like that.
we kind of help keep each other in check a lot of the time.
Exactly. We as a community of people, we help keep each other in check.
Right.
If someone was to do something horrible in front of you, you'd be like, what are you doing, Yeah. So in this case, she's basically saying, I will allow you to circumvent the natural order of things here by having you go internal, seek something that is, well, not even human necessarily. Not even a person, more of like an entity, a power, a cheat code, if you will.
You can be Gaius Baltar and I'll be Cylon number 6. Right. And it'll be great. You know?
But with Satella showing up, someone who has kind of already laid claim to Subaru. In a way that overrode...
Like, Echidna was kind of trying to steal her
whoever he's meant to be. But the idea that she did that without his... well, consent necessarily.
Yes, that's true.
But I almost wonder, just a little bit, if there's some things about how Subaru entered this world that we're not really privy to.
Possibly.
And one of the things that makes me think like this is Echidna being the witch of greed here. She's like, I want everything. I know what you have, and it's so crazy, it's so powerful that I'll even let you use me in any way possible. This is the thing that Subaru wanted maybe in his dark fantasy in some ways.
Sure.
He wanted his waifu.
Yep.
Now, in a kind of a meta way, she's saying like, I will become your perfect best girl.
I even have the white hair and everything.
Well, yeah. All the things that might be in his dark fantasies.
Sure.
She's basically saying, I'll give you everything, but you have to give everything to me.
Which is great because it's the...
I wonder if she's doing it this way.
Yeah.
Because when she got his memories, she got everything.
Sure.
And it's not just what happened in this, fantasy world.
Right.
It's ever since he was born.
Because it could totally be that she simply is offering this because that's what would most get her going.
Right.
If someone offered that to her, right? Because she's greed. But at the same time, it could be that she actually saw that from him specifically.
From him specifically.
Yeah.
Right. But if she sees everything, what if there's a way that Subaru can play this against her? And it's the thing of, I need you to tell me, is there anything that is in my memories that I don't know about? that you can maybe pass along to me? Maybe
Possibly.
give me a little bit more. And he can kind of manipulate her back and be like, you want this, right? Well, then come along, help me out.
Well,
give me a little bit, some more. Prove that you're really on my side. And she's like,
Right.
Subaru, why are you being so mean to me? And he's just like, well, you're not going to get this if you don't help me. I could totally see him becoming, in some ways, the ultimate foil to her by now being like, now you've revealed your hand.
Well, that's the problem with greed, right? Is that you're kind of easy to lead.
You are, yeah.
Because you want everything.
You think only of yourself, yeah.
Right. So all right, I talked about how greed and envy, I get them mixed up a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Now that we have greed and envy both present on the battlefield.
About to show up and maybe even
throw
hands.
down.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let's go into...
Everyone else sips tea.
Right, let's go into the distinctions between them. For one, Echidna is the only one that seems upset by Satella showing up.
True, everyone else seems excited.
Everyone else seems excited.
For the most part.
Now, Echidna was the one that was just butting in on Satella's territory. So it makes sense why she would be upset. But also, if you think about what envy and greed are, greed is I want everything. Envy is I want one specific thing because you have it. Right? And that's why it fits so well with the aishiteru.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
Because it's she's being
Give me your
envious.
love.
Yeah, exactly. I want
you'd have for Satella.
I want you.
I mean, for Amelia.
Right, exactly.
To me, yeah.
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 How do those things interact? I want everything. I want the one specific thing.
Right.
Feels like the natural two to butt heads, right?
True.
Because greed
they could actually just be rivals.
Yeah.
And Subaru's like, oh, Echidna, you might actually be a useful ally. I'm not going to make a contract
I'm not going to make a contract
with
with you, but I understand that you don't get along with her. And you know, like...
Yeah. It's probably just because Satella's stronger than her and just took things that Echidna can never take. Like, there's things in this world that Satella's like, yeah, this is mine now. And Echidna's just like, why did you do that?
Right.
Like,
weirdly enough.
And in a weird way, she might have taken things specifically from maybe, like, certain witches as, like, a part of her envy.
Possibly.
And Echidna was maybe the one that suffered the most from that.
Because one of the things that greed versus envy, it makes me think of, is that envy has focus. Greed doesn't. Greed doesn't.
Greed stretches her arms
it's
out.
The arms out, like send the butterflies everywhere.
Right.
Whereas envy, it's I'll laser focus in on the one thing, then I will take it. Right?
Yeah.
And that's probably why she won. You know, it's the man who tries to catch two rabbits catches none kind of a thing, and like that proverb or whatever from wherever it's from.
Anytime rabbits are mentioned now, I can't think of them in a wholesome way because we're discussing ReZero right now.
Yeah. So I'm very excited to see how this conflict, whatever. This tea party plays out.
Oh my God, me too.
But given the fact that, like, I've always assumed that this part of the season would end with this immediate iteration of the timeline.
Kind of the sanctuary being saved.
Right, the sanctuary being saved. And then also, I guess, in tune with that, the people at the mansion, right? Because they're happening at the same time. But when I think of what the next episode will cover, 27 minutes, okay. We're not out of the witch's tea party yet. Like, there's still a good amount of time that could just be spent on Satella and Echidna interacting, and Subaru just being like, all right, I'm going to stay back, and I'm going to observe, right?
Yeah, except I think that he's going to make a really, really big choice here.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think that one of the things that has maybe been hinted at quite a bit, but one of the most terrifying things about Satella actually showing up and being involved in the story is that if this is her power that she gave to Subaru, she could take it away.
Yep.
And one of the things that I could totally see her doing here is that she's like, Echidna, you really think that I would let you have this gift that I gave to the love of my life?
Yeah, you think that
Natsuki Subaru?
Like, that I am subject to my own powers? I gave him Return by Death. Do you think I'm affected by that?
Or like, sure.
Like,
right. But I'm meaning she would never let this contract probably go without removing Natsuki Subaru from the equation.
Yep, or at least the Return by Death. Like,
right.
You know,
but if the return by death is gone,
then
who is
Echidna,
he?
Echidna wouldn't care about him at all.
No,
right?
no,
So
not
so
at
it's
all.
So this will be interesting.
So her showing up means that one of maybe three things will happen here.
Okay.
One, she'll threaten Subaru.
Sure.
She'll threaten Echidna. That's kind of the one. She'll threaten people.
She will issue threats. Uh-huh.
Or she'll make a counteroffer.
Sure.
Or
which might have some. It might be an offer you can't refuse, kind of a thing too.
Right.
You know?
Right. Or she'll make Subaru aware of certain things. Now, all these things could happen.
Okay.
But I think that her giving a bit of info to Subaru here in a way that makes Echidna be like, shut up, Satella, shut up.
Yep.
You know, that's the kind of thing where I could see Satella helping without it being a thing of where she's giving up anything really serious to Subaru.
Well, and this is something that's important to bring up. One of the reasons why we freaked out when Echidna showed up in this season so much is because we had never actually seen a witch before.
Never.
We've gotten a lot more used to their presence, right? Because we've interacted with them a fair amount over the course of this season.
True.
But the one that we still have not actually truly interacted with in any meaningful way until now is Satella.
Yeah.
Because
that moment with the Aishiteru was the closest we've ever
That's the closest we've gotten.
Before that was just hands grasping at hearts.
That doesn't really count.
It doesn't.
That doesn't count. It might give some slight insight into her character, but nothing else. Because Satella is the one who, if anyone in this show, should have all the answers, right? She pulled Subaru over from his world. How did she do that? She gave him return by death. How did she do that? Right?
Well,
like
we don't know that she did that, right? That's the thing.
It's not confirmed that she did, but given the fact that she gave him return by death and everything upon his entry into this world, at the very least, she was mucking around or aware of the thing of the fact that it would happen or something.
Yeah, it would be power that would be beyond any of the magic users.
But
here, so it'd probably be a witch.
But if if it wasn't her that did it, we have no other higher power that we could go to that we know of to think of who
or
might
that
have
we
done
really
it.
have much info on. There are beings of great power in this world, just in general.
Right,
like
but as far as we
dragon,
know,
you know,
right, but even he was beaten back. So as far as we know, Satella is the top dog,
the strongest being in this world.
And now that she's here, if she actually speaks to Subaru, if she lets him ask her questions or anything like that, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think it was just a simple thing of where she's like, oh, I'm about to get envious. You're about to take something that's mine.
Right.
And
can't have that.
I don't like this.
Nope.
And I think it's because if we look at this from Subaru's perspective, Echidna's deal actually looks really good.
Yeah.
This is the part that's really freaky here. Subaru has a horrific life ahead of him, even if he just went into the countryside and lived an old life. Can you imagine?
He lives a full life, then dies.
He lives a full life and then
resets.
dies over and over and over again.
I mean, hey, at
as
that point
an
he's just
old man.
Oh.
No. Like this is something that I've thought about in the freaky kind of parts of my mind is, will he actually then be incapable of dying? Meaning that he would then live out the what's for many people the worst times of their life when their body is given up on them and every day is pain and agony.
At that point, he probably wouldn't even be aware of it.
Well, sure.
You know, dementia sets in or whatever.
Yeah. In some ways, he would hope to have lost his memories by that point. But that's the kind of thing where can Subaru really find any kind of happiness in this world?
I thought it would have ended up being something. For some reason, I've assumed that he has to actively do something that causes the checkpoint to happen. Like he has to progress along like the main storyline in order for it to reset or something. But I suppose he might not.
We don't know that. I think
because he usually just ends up dying and then it goes back anyways because he always tries to fix it.
Right. I think that he was manipulated to bump into Amelia in this specific way so that he would instantly, waifu her.
Right.
And then, that's Satella's game here is he's prepping... she's prepping him for basically being the guardian of her next vessel, basically.
Right.
It feels very plain as day in that regard. But as to the future, what Subaru's hope is in this world, this isn't the fantasy, world he always wanted to, jump into. This is, every day is stress and pain and agony, and he's built up huge iron reserves of determination to be able to go through this. And he has wonderful people around him that help him. But when you think about it, he has a lot of great days, but there's a lot of shit that goes in between those great days.
If he basically said, "Hey, Echidna, I'll make the contract with you if you amend that whole bit of not necessarily going along the best path." Like if that's it, then we're good. You know, like that's a deal I could see him making, and Echidna still gets an awful lot. Like she gets a lot.
What I would amend with the whole thing is that you have no will.
Oh God.
When you surrender your soul to merge with mine or whatever, you give up your ability to have free will.
Sure.
That would be horrifically bad as a deal for her if you think about it from the eternity standpoint.
Right, but then
she also gets her curiosity sated because she then gets to partner with him through all that time.
Yeah, you can request for me to do certain things to help sate your desires and things like that.
But you cannot enact your free will.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so your greed has no effect on me specifically, you know, kind of a thing. Yeah.
The problem is that I'm sure that even with that, there would be some fundamental shift in who he would be as a person.
Right. Well, yeah, it's the if
because
you want
his soul
to
becomes merged with another being. How they can go into all kinds of weird mechanics
who knows
as to how
that
that would affect him. But all that being said, they just set up one of the biggest bombshells to be dropped. If at the end of this cour he makes any kind of contract with her.
Even if he doesn't, how is he going to get out of this, right? Because, like, it's always been the witches that basically say, all right, you can go now.
Echidna's patient.
No.
That's the thing, is that things will just get worse on the outside, and eventually he'll come back, and he'll want to make the deal.
Totally. But even just in this instance right here, what I would see being the most likely is that Echidna's like, hold on, I am still playing the long game, so I'm actually going to send you away, Subaru. Because I have to deal with this, and I can't juggle those two things at once, right?
So she saves Subaru from having to deal with Satella by being like, get out.
You're gone. Banishment, you know, like go back to the regular world, you know.
Can I throw a crackpot theory out here? It's a really bad theory, I would say, but do we know that these are actually the witches? Couldn't Echidna just be messing with his mind again, and this is all just a projection?
That is one of the things
to make her seem like the best one of all of them, you know?
Right. The biggest reason that we have for why that isn't the case
their
is
powers activate in this space and stuff.
Well, I mean, theoretically, if it was all a non-real space anyways, Echidna could just be controlling it all anyways, right? But
we saw Satella on the outside too.
Well, we saw Satella on the outside, but also we have Echidna would have no reason to reveal the aspects of the contract that she hadn't revealed to Subaru, right? He probably would have made the contract even without knowing those things. She didn't need the other witches to come in and be like, hold on, what about this and that and the other?
See, if you get into the mind of Echidna a little bit more, you actually want there to be moments where Subaru feels like there was a dramatic reveal.
Totally.
He's like figured out,
the red herring that's like, that way his guard is down.
Yeah, exactly. So this could all be something where even if this is all the real witches, they're all here and stuff, that she could be like, no, I know that they're going to show up. That way I can have that moment where I reveal everything and it makes it look like I'm being now honest and everything's there.
I don't necessarily.
And just goes infinitely down with how much she's not telling.
Yeah, she's had plenty. You've had a lot of time to plan this, haven't you?
Right.
I don't think that's what it is, but I definitely think that she is one that. She's a good improver, though. She will roll with this. She will figure out a way to spin it.
Sure.
Right. And potentially in a way that is very convincing, because the biggest bit of leverage she had on Subaru to make him sign the contract was not actually the contract itself and what she offered, but it was the fact that he was desperate. And these kinds of situations, Satella showing up, that could be something that makes Subaru even more desperate, depending on how it goes.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
She could be like, no, I'm not going to protect you, Subaru. She's coming. She's right there.
If you want to, get out of this.
If you want to have any hope of
take my hand
life with Emilia or anything at all. Because she's about to maybe level the ultimatum of, if this continues at all, I'm banishing him back to the real world, or I am going to remove Return by Death.
Or remove his mind or whatever. Like,
Yeah. We have no idea what Satella can do. I'm guessing she is more powerful than
Echidna. Yeah.
So Echidna probably wouldn't be able to stop her.
And to be fair, if Subaru does end up talking with Satella a bit, that might be something that would give him extra information as far as how to help Emilia through her situation.
Because Satella is invested in Emilia?
Right. Because he knows
that.
that connection is there and everything. So if he actually makes contact with Satella, at the very least, he might understand what Emilia is actually going through.
God.
Even though her trial is probably
It's
past,
so crazy to think that there's going to be 7 witches all around him in this nether space or what have you, this alternate reality. And I'm not concerned about, 5 of the 7 witches.
Right.
Like, I'm literally like, oh, yeah, they're there.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, they're a non-issue for me. It's like, that's how crazy this is.
If anything, gluttony might be helpful in a pinch. Just be like, all right, just, undo the restraints and run.
Actually, hold on. We just got a mechanic here.
What?
We just got a mechanic. Subaru has a way to get out of this.
How?
Lust. If he gets too close to her, he'll die, which will reset him back. And he'll be able to get out of this before any shit goes down.
Sure. All right.
Oh my God.
Like yeah.
And that was set up in this episode of, if you get too close, you stop breathing, and then eventually your heart stops. I'm like, oh, that's a really lonely power. It's like it was a thing where I was like, that sucks for lust.
It's very poetic, like darkly for lust. Yeah.
Right. She is attracting all this attention towards her,
but it's
they can't
moths
get
to
too
flame.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't get too close. But what if it's the thing of where Subaru is like, wait,
glomp,
and then immediately just head pats, and she's just like, oh no, like what if she immediately cries
I've never been held by another person
and then
before.
Immediate dead corpse.
Please let go. You'll die soon.
Yeah.
That
I would love
I like
that.
it. I like it.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But anyway, y'all, thank you so much for watching this crazy episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
Yes, we stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.